What's going on, nerds and nerdettes? I know it's in my channel bio that I do reviews and the like, and being as how I haven't done one in the 3 or so months I've been doing YouTube videos, I figure we're past due for one. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Cybercraft FN-2187 or Finn Stormtrooper helmet. Now, for those of you who do cosplay, you might know this brand. For those who don't, let me fill you in. Cybercraft is this little company based out of Russia. I found these guys in an Instagram ad, and like any ad on Instagram, I was pretty skeptical of it when I first saw it. But I went to their website and dug around a little bit, and they seem to be pretty legit. So long story short, I ended up getting I have 6 of these things now, 6 different helmets. I got a few clone troopers, a couple Imperial helmets, and a Master Chief helmet. I might have more than 6 now that I'm actually doing the math on it. But anyway, I'm probably going to end up doing reviews on all of them just because I think that they're pretty worthy of being reviewed. So the first thing I want to get into is the paint job. So the paint job on all of their helmets, but particularly this one, is just immaculate. I mean, from the blood on the helmet there to the little scorch marks on it and everything in between, this paint application is just fantastic. So from my understanding, they use the same paint method that car manufacturers use, and that is why their paint stays on for so long. I've had this one for about 2 years now. It's been through 3 different moves, and it has yet to show any signs of wear and tear. So the other thing is just the detailing in general. So if you look on the camera here, you can see pretty well all the details, all the little tiny details on this helmet. That just really make it truly not just a great thing to wear to a con, but also just a work of art. There was a whole lot of love put into this helmet and all of their products, at least from what I've seen so far. Moving on, we have the comfortability and breathability of this thing. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but in there you have a lot of super comfy, cozy padding, which makes this thing just really fun to just kind of wear around the house if you're feeling silly, or to a con. This makes it a really comfortable fit, and it doesn't fit too snug on your head either. So this helmet in particular is probably the most breathable one that I have from them. It's actually a pretty solid fit, and the visibility out of this thing is pretty great too. So you can see it's a pretty snug fit, but not too snug. One complaint that I do have about the fit is that I don't think that this helmet was designed for human heads. And so I wonder if in The Force Awakens or in any of the sequel trilogies, if any of the stormtroopers had problems like this. Because look how it's very wobbly, and to get it to kind of line up with your eyes, you kind of got to tilt it forward a little bit. And then, it's pretty fine. But again, you move your head the wrong way, and you're back to square one. That's a pretty nitpicky complaint, I think. It definitely isn't detrimental in any way. Just personally, when I'm wearing things like this, I like them to be kind of form-fitting, I guess, in a way. And the helmet hair it gives you really isn't all that bad. So it's got good paint, it's comfortable, it's breathable. What are some cons? The cons of the helmet itself is that it gets really hot in this thing really, really quick. I think that's just how the padding is and the kind of felt material that they use on it. But it is super quick to get super hot. So even just wearing this thing just a minute ago, I was already starting to feel myself get a little sweaty. Some other cons in general, I think, are the shipping time and the shipping cost. Now, disclaimer, they do have a US distribution center they're working out of now as well. So if you live in the continental US, I imagine that shipping time and cost is going to be reduced significantly, depending on what they have over here. But the way they do these is that if they don't have it in stock, they make it to order. And they can make these custom too. So if you want a custom paint job or anything like that, hit them up in the DMs on Instagram or something and they'll work with you on that. But being as how these come from Russia, the shipping time and shipping cost, even for helmets that are in stock, is pretty substantial. I think on average, I waited about 4 weeks for mine. I think one of them, my Death Trooper helmet, I waited a little longer on. But for the most part, you're looking at 4 to 6 weeks delivery time if they're shipping from their warehouse in Russia. The shipping cost is another thing. I imagine that they've had to jack prices up due to sanctions and things like that. So it's gonna cost you around like $50 or more to get this shipped from overseas. On top of the other big con for these is the price point. Let me be clear though, is that I don't think the prices for these helmets are unwarranted by any means. These are very lovingly made with great attention to detail, very comfortable to wear, and I think that the price point is definitely justified. That being said, that doesn't mean that it's still not expensive. You're looking at probably around $300 to $350 for most helmets, unless you catch them on sale, which I highly recommend doing if it is your first time buying from these guys, just so that if you don't like it, you're not out a bunch of money. And their sales are usually pretty good. I mean, you're looking at 20, 30, sometimes even 40 or 50% off, depending on what they have going on. And they do have sales pretty regularly, so keep a lookout for that. Honestly, you know, with all collecting and nerd hobbies, it's got a barrier to entry, and this, kind of like Warhammer, has the unfortunate barrier of entry of having the money to drop on it. But honestly, besides those few things, I don't really have anything negative to say about this helmet. Like I said, there was that nitpicky bit earlier about just the kind of fit on my head. Maybe I have a weird head, I don't know. But the shipping time, shipping cost, which again could be significantly reduced if you're not getting it from Russia. If you're getting it from the US center and you live in the US, that's probably going to be a whole lot cheaper. But not a whole lot I can say that's bad about this. It's a fantastic piece just to display on the shelf. It's a fantastic piece to wear around. And all in all, I think that the FN-2187 helmet is well worth it. Even if you don't like the sequels, come on, man, you can't deny that. That's a cool looking helmet. That's all for this one, guys. All in all, I would give this thing like 4.5 stars, just because of how hot it gets in here and the fit. I'm gonna knock that rating down just a bit. But other than that, it's a great piece, and I highly recommend checking them out. I'll drop a link to the store for this in the description. If you have any other suggestions on what you want me to review, leave it in the comments. I'm definitely gonna be doing more of these, considering I have quite a few of them, and I think they're all different in their own way. So I think those will make some really good videos. Drop a like if you like it, a subscribe if you really, really like it, and see you in the next one. Toodles.